Now, I'm not sure what it is, but there's times where my computer can just say, you know what, alright, cool, we'll just make it happen, we'll do it all well. And there's times where this video goes choppy for no reason, and I really do hope that it's not gonna happen this time. Because this is like my 6th or 7th try to record this, and I mean, I like the video idea and I like the video, but damn, I did not have to put this much work into this for failure, you know what I mean? Basically, if you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, then I managed to make it work, so, you know, there's a blessing in disguise there. But I did see Pokemon Origins a while back. I draw Pokemon for practice, so for those who don't know, I mean, art and people who can paint, people who can draw, I really, not necessarily look up to them, but I really envy them because it's such a cool talent to have. It's one of those things where everybody can do it, or not everybody can do it rather, but a lot of people can learn. And here's hoping I'm one of those people, because it'll really work well with a lot of the things I want to do, especially thumbnails. Drawn thumbnails always hit different. They just look really nice because you can customize them. However, I'm ranting. At this point, this is a scene, or you know, my adaptation. I say that, but you'll see why. Of a scene from Pokemon Origins, Mega Charizard X, I believe, versus Mewtwo. At this point, he hasn't gone Mega, because I think he does go Mega in that fight. However, we're not here to talk about canon. Let me just tell you, this outline, not even outline, this very rough sketch of Charizard is disgusting. I see it now, and I realize that his head is fat. Way bigger than I think it's supposed to be, but I do realize this while I'm drawing, and I fixed that. Now, I was bumping a lot of Pokemon music, but what you're going to be hearing in the background is Dokkan battle music. If you don't play Dokkan, that's completely fine. Just enjoy the vibe. It's a good time, okay? So I really struggle with the basics of Charizard. His nose, his mouth. I don't draw dragons. I've never attempted it. I do Pokemon because their anatomy is not something you know off the top of your head. You can look at your hand and look at a hand that I draw, and it might not be the same. Excuse me. It might not be the same, and you'll be able to know. However, with Pokemon, you have to look at the Pokemon, then you know what, it might be correct in your head. If you look at it, if you squint from a far distance, everything I draw looks amazing. But if you're looking at it during this video, you're gonna notice a couple of errors, especially if you're big on art. I apologize for what you're watching because I really tried, I'm gonna be honest with you, but it's just one of those things that, you know, practice, trial and error, it's pretty difficult for me. However, I really enjoyed the progress that I made. I think the Mewtwo actually came out very well. There's a lot of things that I do struggle with, and just straight lines are one of them. You're gonna see a lot of erasing, a lot of retries. Like I said, it's push and pull when it comes to the art that I do, because I am a beginner. Also, fire, never tried it before, did not know what I was gonna do with this fire because it's blue. The color doesn't really matter at this point, but as you can see, I wrote fire because I was so confused on what it was that I was supposed to be doing. Fire is something that you know looks right or looks wrong off the top of your head, even if it is a different color and a different, like it has an aura. It's something that you know, which is why I draw Pokemon, because you don't know them off the top of your head unless you're really big into Pokemon, or if you collect them. You know what, I collect the cards here and there. I've started, at least. If you want to see videos on that, I can go ahead and do that. However, right now we're going to focus on this drawing. Now, I really like this idea of having two different objects, but I didn't realize how many how many lines, how much work, and just how much time I had to put into this. Surprisingly, took 2 hours. I think I mentioned that. A little over 2 hours. I was looking at references, which I had on my other screen. However, I'm not going to put them on screen, mainly because of the fact that I'm scared of copyright. Definitely don't want to risk anything like that. As you can see right here, I kind of realized that, okay, his head is not this fat. Had to adjust the fire, had to make sure it looked a little more decent, and I guess I kind of did that. But unfortunately, I didn't take into account that if his head was smaller, his body would be thinner, or it would be smaller as well. So he has a fat body. Man is thick. But we're just gonna go ahead and move on with it. Also, his shoulder is a very weird thing. It's kind of a ball with an arm attached to it. It looks like the robots that you have or the toys that you have as a kid, where you have the little ball to make, you know, the arm move. It's essentially something along those lines, and I kind of struggled with that, but I think I got it pretty decently. His hand, surprisingly, was not difficult on this arm, which would be, I guess, his left arm if you're looking at it from just correct positioning. But it was a very difficult thing to do because I like I'm saying, the anatomy of these Pokemon are just different. As you can see, it's a lot of push and pull. Here's where I kind of realized that, okay, he doesn't have a neck this fat. So I do change his head a little bit, but it looks like he's just leaning forward. So you know what, maybe he's charging up for some sort of attack, which, I mean, he is. The initial reference, I think he was going for like some Mega Punch type move, and that's initially what I wanted to do. His wings, very, very, very straightforward, so I'm thankful for that. They're literally just triangles on the landscape of a wing. It's not that difficult to do. Got that out of the way pretty quickly. And here, oh my, you will see me struggle with whatever kind of arm he has. Sorry for the background noise. I did also come back to this nose thing because I did not like how it looked whatsoever. Tried it at least 100 times, I want to say. But then I started looking at the eye a little different as well, so you're going to see me try that again. Then that tooth that's not, you know, covering the mouth or in the mouth, yeah, I noticed that it was way out of line. So there's just a lot that I do come back to. A lot, like I said, a lot of push and pull. It's a very difficult thing to draw. If you've never drawn Charizard. Initially I was going to draw Tyranitar, but there was no good references, and then I decided, you know what, Mewtwo and Charizard would be pretty cool. I kind of settled on this nose, and I changed the way his arm was facing because it made more sense if he was, I guess, had his arm that far ahead. But then, I mean, now that I think about it, that's a long ass arm. I did give him a tongue because I forgot to initially, and that tooth, like I said, was a bit out of place, and I struggled with that way more than I struggled with the others. Don't know why, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, but I kind of settled on having it right there. I feel like it's still a bit too wide, but I cannot go back and post and fix that because at this point it is completed. So right here I do fumble the bag and struggle for a solid like 10 minutes on this thing. I didn't like what I was drawing because it came out very phallic shaped a lot of the times. I was trying to do a knuckle just based off of the other, or not a knuckle, rather a fist, and then I kind of gave up on that, and I was like, you know what, Dragon Claw is a cool move. He is a dragon type in this form, but then I decided, you know what, let me try again. Let me go back. It was a lot of, like I said, push and pull. You're gonna hear me say that a lot this video. But I don't know, his hands looked too small, and then there wasn't enough space. I felt like it was more of a Lego kind of piece, so then I decided, okay, I'm gonna do it bigger and just shorten it, or make it smaller rather. Didn't work, so instead I copied the left hand, and I could use that for reference. Initially I was gonna put it because I tried to flip it, but I don't know how to flip it. I am also self-taught when it comes to Photoshop, so I was like, okay, let me just, you know, use that as a closer reference. Did not work. His hand just, it didn't look correct to me. Something was off. So I came back, decided to do a ball. Didn't work out either. So instead, I think I stuck with the Dragon Claw, move at this point. But again, struggled with that as well. This is where I rotate the the screen to make it a little better. I also saw that on the references, Dragon Claw had been way bigger than his actual hand, so I just decided, you know what, let me go ahead and make it way bigger. I do get into the coloring section at this point, and honestly didn't know how I was gonna recreate the white inside of his fire. So initially I started with just the same pen that I was using to draw, and then, you know, make that a different color, but it didn't work. I didn't like having that pen because it was very rough around the edges, and initially I was gonna blur it or just make the opacity a little, lower the opacity rather, and that didn't work. It didn't give me the effect that I really wanted. It kind of just looked gray, so instead I chose a different pen, As you can see, it is very wispy. It already has that lowered opacity in the pen itself, but if I ever wanted to go ahead and make it a little brighter, I could. So this is me outlining the edge of the flame. Now I did this just so it looks like it's flame rather than a line of fire, if that makes any sense. It just looks more natural, at least in my opinion. I was actually kind of happy with the way that turned out. Obviously it could have been a lot better. However, I am self-taught. Everything that I'm doing is off the top of my head, and it was very difficult for me. Now Mewtwo is a weird skin flesh color, and it's very close to white. So I kind of settled with just a very salmon pink-esque color. The way I color, I don't use the paint bucket tool. I actually just go in and do it myself. I don't know. It takes a lot more time for the same result. Maybe even a worse result, just in case I miss some color. But it is what I've been doing. Maybe to just get comfortable with lines. I don't know. There has to be a reason I'm doing this without using the paint bucket tool. But, you know, what are you going to do? So going in, Charizard is just a basic dark gray-ish color. There's not much to him color-wise. It's kind of just blue and blue and gray. His eyes are red, but I mean his body has this bluish tone on it. I decided to make it a little darker than the fire itself, mainly because I wanted to be able to distinguish between the two, rather than have your eye kind of just get cluttered right there. His horns do have this shade, as well as the little parts of his shoulder, which, I mean, it came out very Charizard-esque. I don't want to say that it came out perfect, because it didn't. I also did struggle with his eye, because he has red, he has a black rim, then red, then a black rim, and then white. But I just went straight into the white, and then it didn't work. So I was like, okay, smaller circle, then bigger circle, and none of them looked correct. Then that's when I realized, okay, he has a black circle inside of his eye. Struggled with that for a while too, because again, I'm not confident in my shapes. So then I saw that, you know what, it's okay. So Dragon Claw is like a dark green move, but it does have white undertones. So what I decided to do was just have these little dots, right? Lower the opacity, I think turn into an overlay layer, and then blur it, so that way it looks more like an aura rather than just white dots. So I think I kind of nailed that one. You can go ahead and look up Dragon Claw, and I promise you that it is close to that. I was looking at no, right here I take a small break because my bladder was not letting me focus. I was rushed throughout this whole stage. I did the same with the fire. However, it still is a move. There still is a claw, so I decided to just leave that as is, have the black in the background, and just kind of overlay that that layer, just so it can have that green glow to it, but there still is that black behind it, because you know it's in the shape of a claw. Now that one was just off the top of my head. Didn't think I did truly correct on that one, but you know, what are you gonna do about it? I'm looking at the video right now, and I completely forget to erase that part of Mewtwo's color, and it's gonna bug me now that I know it's there. Shading, I have no idea what I'm doing when I'm shading. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I just know stuff makes fire, light has to come from a certain direction. So all of this shading is just basically what I think shading should be. It might be completely incorrect. It might be correct to a degree. I'm not entirely sure. I decided that I wanted the light to be coming from Charizard's fire, as well as his claw to a degree. So that's kind of what I did here. I don't know. There was a lot of errors in that plan. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I decided to shade the bottom portion of his belly with a darker color, because I mean he is a gray color himself. So I just decided that this probably looked the best. I just kind of mimicked what I saw on the shading in the actual anime. They do have a lot of shading, but it's not static. There's never any static motion, so the shading could be a little bit off. I just wanted a little bit of shading because I didn't know how much light was gonna really come from the fire. So there was a very limited amount of shading. There was a lot of struggling with the shading. Then I realized, okay, this is way too close to the fire. But my initial idea was it's far away, like the wing isn't close to the fire as much. But I just gave it a little baby shading. Then there was a little bit more when it came to the head area, a little under his mouth. I did give Mewtwo some sweat drops just to make it a little bit, you know, he's nervous, he about to get his ass beat. And you know what, I tried a just background thing, kind of like what I did on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you're gonna see the Tepig that I did, and I'm pretty sure this is better than the Tepig, but I might be completely mistaken. However, I do not stick with this border idea. I don't like it, and I still see that thing on YouTube, but you know what, it's okay. We do give this white background because there was a little bit of purple. I go ahead and save, and let me just show you the completed product. You still see the little mark on Mewtwo, but I like it. Let me know what you think. I know I'm an amateur, but I did enjoy recording this video, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Thank you for watching. We're trying to hit 300 subscribers by the end of the year, so go ahead and help me make that happen. I'll talk to you on the next one. Deuces.